You're listening to Blockchain 2025. The future is right now. Every week, we explore implications of the technology underpinning cryptocurrencies, blockchain.
Each episode is a standalone examination of one industry broken into 3 segments: a basic overview, blockchain's disruptive impact, and relevant crypto projects.
Blockchain 2025 is part of the Bitcoin.com podcast network. Learn about Bitcoin, create a wallet, and buy your first Satoshis all at Bitcoin.com.
This is Blockchain 2025, Season 3. I'm Matt Aaron.
And I'm C. Edward Kelso.
Also, I am coming to you from Barcelona, Spain. Just got back from the Coinsbank cruise, which is a rather strange group of people. In this case, about half Eastern European ICO fans, and then the Bitcoin.com team, Jimmy Song, Charlie Lee, and just, the usual crypto community characters on a boat for 4 nights.
I've caught some video of it. I've seen some accounts of it. You are a globetrotter. So you left the comfy confines of South America and headed over to the Mediterranean. Were you at the debate between Roger Ver and Jimmy Song?
I was. And for listeners that aren't aware, there's a whole Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Core thing. And Roger had this debate with Jimmy Song. I also played poker with Jimmy Song, which is fun. Yeah, I don't think we need to go into the debate here. Oh. It was covered in a lot of places. But long story short, these debates,
sure,
I feel like those that are already deep inside the ecosystem, they have their minds made up. And those that are new, they're still trying to figure out what's Bitcoin. They just get kind of confused. Mm-hmm. I'm obviously on Roger's team, and I think he factually won. But at the end of the day, this is a Pyrrhic victory.
Right. And that really is the sort of the crux. And what we try to do at Bitcoin.com is to encourage financial freedom, or more importantly, through Bitcoin Cash, through peer-to-peer decentralized, censorship-resistant cryptocurrencies. In this case, of course, BCH. That's our whole reason for being. So the debate or debates should get us somewhere closer to that. I don't, like you say, I don't know if it does or does not, but Roger's one of those guys that if you challenge him, he's gonna definitely come to rise up to that. But so you're on a Royal Caribbean cruise in the Mediterranean with a bunch of ICO geeks, huh? Yeah,
and I will say one funny thing from the debate was that Jimmy, who planned the debate, and he wrote a speech, which is not necessarily a debate style, but in any event, I'll give him a break. But he did show up wearing cowboy boots, a suit, and a cowboy hat. And I think he regretted that because he was sweating profusely on the top of the cruise ship. We're in the Mediterranean in September. I think if he did it over, he probably would have worn like a t-shirt and shorts. It was just, so hot.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
I saw it too, and I was cracking up. But he's known for the cowboy hat. He lives in Texas. So just real quickly, because I know everybody's dying to hear the episode, but you said you played poker. You guys played Texas Hold'em with
Song, Charlie Lee, Tone Vase, some Russian, Belarusian, and Ukrainian ICO people. And yeah, it was fun, man. It was a fun poker night.
That's very cool. That's a story you're going to have for a while. In any case, we're on to this particular episode. It's part of a broader theme. Hopefully we can explore, going forward this year and so on. And it's what we call the stupidest initial coin offerings. We'll kind of laser in on a particular example of what we consider to be a dumb ICO. Obviously, we are not financial advisors, so take it for what it's worth. And we don't mean to hurt feelings or anything. This is just us having fun and, showing the lighter side of our space.
For sure. And the industry we're going to cover today is iHealth. And in particular, one ICO, remember that's just initial coin offering, raising money for your blockchain startup. It's called iglob.net. They couldn't even get the .com.
I'm trying not to laugh, but iGlob, G-L-O-B, iGlob. Yikes. That did not make it through marketing.
Yeah,
iGlob.
For sure. And there are a lot of Lithuanians on the team, Estonia-based company in terms of business formation. Mm-hmm. If this was a really bad episode of Shark Tank, this is true right now. They don't really have a product yet. They're pro eyes and eye health, which I think Kelso and I know we both wear glasses.
I want it known that I am pro eye health and I am pro sight.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But if you're blind or can't see, that's totally cool as well.
Right. We're not going to discriminate.
We're not going to discriminate. So they're doing an ICO for 40% of their company and are looking for 33 million US dollars, meaning that they have a valuation of their company pre-product at $82.5 million.
$82 million. My goodness. And they don't have a product. So that has never stopped the cryptocurrency initial coin offering space. At least they have a white paper.
Yeah. They have a PDF. They have a 27-page PDF.
Lots of cool graphics.
Yeah, we'll go into the graphics in a little bit. They're looking for a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, we're covering the industry of eye health. So I wanted to give you a history of eye health and take us from the early 1300s up until today. So it's rumored and believed that in Italy, somewhere between the year 1268 and 1300, eyeglasses were invented. Fast forward to the early 1900s, they had kind of glass lenses, but the plastic contact lenses that we use today, or some form of them, were invented in 1948. The next big breakthrough, I would say, was 1995, when the FDA finally approved laser eye surgery. And then in the last, 5 to 10 years, ordering things online. Like Warby Parker is very famous, where they send you a bunch of glasses. You can choose what you want and send it back, filling out your prescription, and mail order glasses and contact lenses. And, that's a very brief history right there. So I didn't go into the diseases, but there's glaucoma, blindness, and plenty of other things going on there.
Sure. It's a telltale sign of an initial coin offering that they try to take it general to specific, and some are more successful in this regard than others, but they get you at least on the idea of sight. You have eyes, obviously, because you're reading this and so on. It gives them sort of a gravitas. It gives them kind of a weight that they may not have otherwise achieved. And so eye health is, as much as we're going to, crap all over this, is really no joke. So that could get a potential investor or, someone looking to see if, or try to evaluate whether this is on the up and up. So, eyes, everybody, was concerned about that. So
for sure. And let's go into the purported problem of eye health. This is from iglob.net. They have these concentric circles. In 2010, there were 1.9 billion people with eye diseases. They estimate that by 2030, 3.3 billion people will have eye diseases. So problem, rapid decrease in eye health worldwide. Amount of money spent on eye health from 2017 to 2022 is supposed to double or go from 72 to 160, a little bit more than double in the next 5 years. And then the biggest problem here they have is the number of ophthalmologists has been going down, decreasing 1.7% since 2009. Kelso, this is a serious problem.
Yeah, it seems to be. Again, as an investor, I think a lot of us in this wildcat world, of ICOs, we skip over, kind of the assumptions that are being made and just kind of get to the nitty gritty of tokenizing and so on. But these are some interesting assumptions. The vision or something is, or eye diseases are going to increase, maybe because the population increases. I'm not sure how they're getting there. I would hope that there would be less eye diseases as we go forward. But say, 2030 is when they're projecting it out to have almost doubled. And, obviously I'm not going to be able to go back, so remember back in 2018, you said it was going to be 3.3 billion people with eye diseases. You can't really check all these numbers, but yeah, it's somewhat compelling, as these pages are sort of inclined to do. They put these graphics up front. And so far, there's nothing really to goof at. You and I have jumped ahead. So we know what's coming, but so far it looks again the if you go on iglob.net, sort of the landing page is pretty dope. They have a retina there, and it looks like a retina scan or something, and a whole bunch of moving parts, and it looks really, really cool. And then the problem, again, as Matt said, it looks pretty serious.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say what is iGlob? They call it an eye health global ecosystem on blockchain. There's a lot. You can tell English is not their first language. Not a problem. I don't think a white paper has to have perfect English, but it is funny when you look at solution, you look at their chart, they have education, industry, connecting efforts, people, groups, entities, institution, kind of all these vague words, science, development, research, boosting talents, innovation. Yeah. But essentially they're, for practitioners, for people with eye problems, people that want to learn with eye problems, it's going to be some type of social network that doesn't really need a blockchain.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to have a token. And so, Kelso, the I token, EYE, of course.
Of course.
It's worth adding in here before we go into the token, I guess. How is this going to work with the token? This is from the white paper. The iGlob ecosystem will consist of a multifunctional, multi-layered platform that has tool interested for every stakeholder. The iGlob community will be content creators for this ecosystem. Content created by each member of the community may prove useful to another user or group. Part of the data in the ecosystem will be decentralized and stored on the ledger. It also says it is a digital world that consists of various decentralized technologies, big data, and AI, artificial intelligence.
Right. They're ticking off all the boxes.
Right. They're incredibly vague, using a lot of buzzwords. For the amount of money they're trying to raise, they're quite conservative on how many people will be using their app. They have a roadmap, a plan. If you go to the roadmap here, this already happened 2017 Q1 idea, 2017 Q2 concept, marketing research, Q4. In the bull market last year, they were teaming up. That was October through the end of the year of 2017.
And it's important too, when you're evaluating initial coin offerings, that you understand that, obviously it's a relatively new phenomenon, but if they began sometime in 2017, the reality, as listeners are probably painfully aware of looking at their portfolio, of the crypto space has dramatically changed. So when you get an ICO that started in 2017, they had to beat off investors, with a stick, and venture capitalists and so on. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case with iGlob, but you can see that if their roadmap is truthful, they began actually early 2017. So by the fourth quarter of that year, it was just insane. The space, we had almost $1 trillion just kind of sloshing around. I guess right now, obviously we're in Q4, right?
We're in Q3 still.
Sorry. Yes, that's right. And so it looks like they began their main token sale not too far away from when we're recording this on September 18th. Right now, they're in the thick of it. So they've gone through maybe the first leg or so of their roadmap. So they're doing this.
Yeah, they don't have too much to show for it. And evaluation at $82.5 million. This is a roadmap, which is a optimistic guess of the future, which is almost impossible to read.
Sure.
They hope by the end of 2023, so over 5 years from now, they'll have a community of more than 4 million people.
Right.
That's what they're projecting to. So that's an investment over 5 years at $82.5 million. That's $20 per user.
How much that is per user?
Yeah. And so they have big data and analytics. They have the AI. Again, they've checked all the boxes. This, to me personally, Kelso, is a ridiculous investment. I would be shocked if they raised this $33 million. I'd be scared forever invested unless it wasn't some type of quick trade or money laundering play.
That's where a lot of this stuff ends up. People have used initial coin offerings to, launder, kind of wash their coins and get in and out and so on. I don't know if that'll be the case here. I'm hesitant to suggest or not suggest. I think the theme, stupidest ICOs, kind of hits upon it. But this is an ambitious project. They want to become essentially the go-to solution for all things at least that's how they sell it. And then when you look at the roadmap, what are we in 18? So 5 years from now, give or take, they're only at 4 million users. There's a kind of weird sort of sobriety there. 4 million is not a lot of people. And I don't know how you get to 82 million on top. It's kind of weird. The token distribution is also interesting. And I know you wanted to maybe mention that.
Yeah, well, before we go into distribution, let me just talk about the use of the iToken.
Okay.
I'm reading from the white paper. All transactions in iglob.net will be executed in iTokens, issued in very limited amount. There are several types of transaction involving iTokens. A, earning iToken. B, spending iToken. And C, acquiring iToken. I'm not sure the difference between A and C, earning versus acquiring.
Right.
Content creators will be earning iTokens. If user provides data for iglob.net, user will be rewarded with the amount of iTokens. Filling out patient card, writing a trusted review, sharing the article or best practice, downloading an advanced surgery technique video. Hopefully that's for practitioners and not the random person at home. Let's see. They say that spending iTokens will be possible by accessing premium accounts, specific services for a user. With iTokens, users will be able to buy eye health related products like contact lenses, glasses, sunglasses. accessories, food supplements, medications, and books. Buy services like insurance. Pay for postgraduate study and qualification events. That's interesting. iGlob.net, important revenue is forecasted to come from advertising. Advertising is possible to buy only with iTokens.
All this stuff exists. And so I guess they're trying to cobble it into one area. I don't really see why we need a blockchain solution to any of this. If anything, do I really want my health records, exposed to Estonians? I don't know.
Yeah, well, really Lithuanians.
Oh, right, Lithuanians.
But yeah, I mean, I do think in general, we did one on health. I mean, if you could have more control over your health data on a blockchain, but that could be done with an identity app like Civic. You don't need a specific blockchain for iHealth or whatever.
And there's a danger too of stretching out. So because this is so niche, right? So my records of iHealth will be here. Lord knows there's another blockchain for, knee injuries, and, it can get really stupid after a while.
The knee token.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, trademark, by the way.
Yeah. And Kelso, I mean, I think we should finish this up here. I mean, wrapping it up, the iHealth, watch out for these vague words. And when they throw stats around, not just eyes, but they'll say, 2 billion people on Earth don't have a bank account. They intend to address a market of billions. In this case, it's strange because they're comfortable with only 4 million in 5 years. Yeah, I mean, this is comical. I just want to have a kind of a relief episode.
Right.
We'll bring this back. Let us know if you liked it. Were you entertained by iglob.net?
And take a look at the deck too. The team. That's real instructive. So if you look, there's usually some word salading there as well. Lots of entrepreneurs and so on, which, obviously we love entrepreneurs here. But that literally is a catch-all phrase. And they actually use for their CFO, they actually call her a financial guru. So it's like,
we're podcasting gurus.
Right, well, yeah, exactly. And just for clarity's sake, I love all of this. So I'm very much pro scam, pro this sort of thing, simply because they're sort of canaries in a mine shaft, which maybe is another idea altogether, but they show us how much freedom there is still in the space. And if there were crackdowns on stuff like this, I would kind of miss it. I think it's instructive for us to go through these things. And, as I was telling you pre-show, I am such a horrible investor that watch this stupid iGlob take off, become the industry standard, usurp all the different cryptos out there, and become peer-to-peer cash and save the world. So, again, I'm sober enough to let everybody know that I am not a person to offer financial advice, but this definitely does not meet the smell test, and it's something that you should really look skeptically at, and hopefully by analyzing these sorts of things one by one, it'll make you a better investor going forward.
For sure. Well, that was our first edition of the Stupidest ICOs. All right, Kelso. Well, hey, man, good to be recording again. We took a couple weeks off.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back, man.
Yeah. Well, all right, listeners, thanks so much. As always, subscribe, leave a review, and go to podcast.bitcoin.com and bitcoin.com for all things Bitcoin.com related.
Yeah, and head over to the news desk as well, news.bitcoin.com. And until next week, we will see you.
Thanks for listening to the Bitcoin.com podcast network. To learn more about our shows, visit bitcoin.com/podcast. Bitcoin.com podcast network.